Hi guys, welcome to another video. Not a review or anything like that. This is a response to a tag video from Nicole, aka Taste and Nitch, over in Paris. I think 99% of you guys watching this are already subscribed, and if not, you should definitely go over and do so. So she basically did a video recently where she was answering questions that she frequently gets, and she invited us, the Beertube community, to take part and answer them for ourselves and then tag people to do the same thing. So without any further ado, let's get on with it. Basically, I've drank beer since I was like a teenager. Friday nights and weekends, we go to like a friend's house or we go into town, that sort of thing. And I was drinking like crappy macro lagers, you know, when your mates would come together, put a little bit of money in, and then we would actually get our friend's grandmother, who was suffered from slight dementia. So looking back, it was a fucking shady thing to do, but we always used to ask her when we were going to our friend's house to go and pick up some beer for us. I got to that point when I was like in college and at university, when I was starting to, thanks to my studies of like graphic design, like taking influence from different sorts of media, and then that was like this whole idea of taking influence and looking past what you know sort of played into that. And then I started going to like the supermarkets and seeing what you could get in like the £4 for £6 sort of deals, and the little boxes of beer where it was a brewery or a big conglomerate, and then they would showcase some of their beers. And then I started getting into that. And then, of course, I started doing it on YouTube. And then it's the friendships, the interactivity, and I've met some great people through this. And had some really intriguing opportunities presented to me thanks to doing this. And it's the people who I've come to know who really make this something so great for me. And I'll probably always be doing this sort of thing. So that's really why I like beer so much. For me, it's either a toss-up between the Augustiner Lagerbier Hell or the Schlenkerla Rauchbier Märzen. I think they're two fantastic beers in their own right. The Schlenkerla, when I first tried that, it just blew my mind that beer could taste that way. I mean, fast forward 2, 3, 4, 5 years now, and just see how the world of beer is developing, which also sort of plays into the first question as well. I was just blown away by it. I loved that smoky flavour. And then the Augustiner Hellers, I'm a big advocate of lager. I mean, yeah, I grew up drinking shitty, chemical-filled lagers. To me, there's nothing better than a good lager, and this for me is the best lager in the world. Although Schlenkerla Rauchbier Märzen is probably my all-time favourite beer, the beer that I would happily drink for the rest of my life is this one. It tastes good, it's relatively low in alcohol, it's high quality, and yeah, it's really affordable, especially here in Germany. And it's just one of those beers that I just gravitate to time and time again. So first of all, I'm going to say no, I'm not an alcoholic, because I don't depend on beer. I mean, you could have so many different viewpoints as to what is and what isn't an alcoholic. Although I absolutely love this hobby, if I was told by like my doctor that you need to stop drinking, I'd be like, okay, I'm perfectly fine with that. It'd be hard at first, obviously, because I do like the actual flavour of beer. It's not about getting that buzz. It's not about I feel ill so I need to drink so I feel better. But that being said, I probably do, to a lot of people, drink a little bit too much. But that being said, even people who aren't really into the hobby, you'll find them having 1 or 2 beers a night, which I think is perfectly fine. They can still function. So yeah, I don't think I drink too much. But then I have some weeks where I think, oh, you probably did drink too much that week. And I very rarely have like nights out, because I like the idea more of having a couple of drinks in my own home as opposed to having a night out and paying like 3-4 times the price of what you'd pay. I mean, this is roughly on average about €1 a bottle, but if you were to go into a nightclub, you know, you're paying like €3 or €4 for the same thing. And it's not even on tap, it's just a bottle of beer that you could buy in the supermarket. For the most part, I only drink beers when I review them. How do I stay healthy? Easy question is I don't. That being said, I do like to go on walks. We live in a relatively compact city. I can't drive, don't have a license. The city in which we live in doesn't really dictate that you need one because you can easily get to and from one point of the city to the other. Especially by bicycle relatively quickly. And yeah, I like to go on walks. I mean, we've got a lovely river with some views, which I'm hoping to do some beer reviews outside at some point. But yeah, so I do like to walk. I like to be out and about for the most part. But yeah, I probably eat too much, probably don't drink enough water, and I definitely don't exercise enough. Cliche answer, the hops. I think you can get so many intriguing characteristics from a hop. But if I was to think of an ingredient that's sometimes added to beers, I'd have to say grapefruit. Any beer that has grapefruit, whether it's grapefruit juice, grapefruit puree, or actual grapefruit, I just love it. Grapefruit IPA is probably my favourite style of an IPA. And that goes back to the sort of hoppiness, because you do get those grapefruit-esque characters from hops a lot of the time. So when you put a grapefruit in the beer, it just elevates it and takes it to a completely new level. And yeah, so that's probably my favourite ingredient. But in classic brewing, it is the hop. Nope, we just live in a one-bedroom apartment. And if I was to brew, it would just stink the whole place out. But I would love to do homebrew at some point. I'd like to see if I could actually brew a beer from start to finish. I like watching the homebrewers here on YouTube. I like that community itself. I like the people there. I just love seeing people creating a beer in the comfort of their own home and it being fantastic. Sometimes you could get homebrews that are even better than commercially brewed beers. But long and short answer is no, I don't. Like I was saying, I grew up drinking lagers, so it's probably something like Foster's. But then when I started to really get into the hobby, into the world of beer, and like that beer that pretty much woke me up, would probably be Witchwood's Hobgoblin. That to me is like the ultimate gateway beer for people who are into macro lagers. And I will say that that was probably the beer that really sparked my interest into the world of craft beer. Well, of course, like Nitch said, one of the main people would have to be Michael Jackson. I've only just really started watching properly his Beer Hunter series. I still actually need to read some of his books. I've read excerpts of his writings and the way he presented himself and his show. Yeah, there's like a real sense of poetry to his words, this like sense of romanticism as well. It wasn't just beer, it was a craft. It was people coming together. There's more to it than just the beer in the glass. There's a story to it. Probably the people I looked up to most are the guys who I do the UK Beertubers chat with. Not only for their knowledge and opinions on their beer, but because they're all great people. I've met so many great people through this. I'd say those are the people who I look up to most. So that was my answers to the questions, and I'm going to tag my fellow UK Beertubers. So I'm tagging Dean from Dean's Beer Reviews, Craig from Kent Beer Reviews, Jake from Jaco Beer, Harry from Bluenose Beer Reviews, and Gareth Gaz Gravy. Great people, and I'd love to hear their thoughts and opinions on this one. And you don't have to be tagged to do this. If you want to get involved, just either answer in the comments or do your own video. Tag people to do this. Of course, check out Nitch down below. Check out all the people that I've mentioned as well. And yeah, I look forward to seeing other people doing this. So thank you guys, and I shall hopefully see you all later. Cheers.